Well, congratulations on Moana 2 coming out in just a little bit. Are you excited?
Oh my gosh, yes. So
Have all of
excited.
the feelings. All of the feelings.
So how did you end up joining that project? What was that process like?
A crazy one for sure.
Yeah, like we had lunch with Tom McDougall, who works at Disney years ago, like 3.5 years ago or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a general, like, let's get to know each other, blah, 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 which happens a lot in the industry, as you know. And he mentions very casually, he's like, you know what? I might have a project for you two girls, maybe keep an
Stay
ear out.
tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. There's a lot of empty promises in this world that we live in. So it's easy to not like take that for what it is. And then little did we know, less than a year later, we got an email saying, "Hey, they're making a Moana sequel. Would you want to talk to the filmmakers?" And we're like, "Would we?"
And then once
And
we did that, we kind of just, figured out what kind of journey Moana was going on. And weirdly, it was sort of mirroring a similar journey that me and Emily were both on. And I think Emily was like 19 or 20 at the time, which is, Moana is 19 in this film. And so I don't know, I just felt kind of kismet and like it was kind of the perfect project for us to take on next. So
And
yeah,
then, you guys are, I mean, we'll have the backstory on all the success you guys have had, obviously Grammy Award winning and chart success and partnership success. But um what's it like to come into a project like Moana 2 where you want to pay tribute, you don't want it to be a whole new world of, where you're like, what am I watching? This isn't Moana. But you also want to add something new. It's a new story. It's not just a retelling of Moana. How did you
exactly.
approach kind of keeping that balance?
Well, I mean, we had Opataya and Mark on the team with us. So like that was a really amazing tool because they have lived in this world for many, many years. And their guidance and the magic they added was like, you can't really replace that. But for us personally, like exactly what you're saying, like we want to pay homage to the first one and how beautiful that world was, but also like it's a sequel, so all the characters have grown. Everyone that we know in the first movie has developed and evolved in some way, while having new characters. So like, what's different about them, and how can we show that in the songwriting? Because the Moana world has expanded, and the music should too. Um, so yeah,
And one thing that must be cool about writing a Disney song is that understand, like, you have obviously had success, as we talked about, but there's nothing that provides sort of a long-lasting legacy like a Disney song. I mean, you will be in fireworks shows, parades, I mean, everyone will know this song will be, no discredit to all the work you've done, but this will last generations beyond all of us. And, to have that kind of impact at your young age, I mean, how do you process that?
uh,
you
you don't. And I think it's such an honor and a privilege. I have young nephews and the idea that they're going to be walking around their house singing these songs like fills me with so much pride and joy. And it's that you're right. There's nothing else like the legacy of Disney animated music. It's been crazy, but also like so wonderfully informative to my inner artist. Just like I've learned so much. Life is a classroom, and this project definitely was like the craziest end of the year project in school.
I mean, it's cuckoo bananas for sure. So you feel a lot of responsibility to be like, okay, we want to like really prove that we should be in this very small group of composers that have done something like this, while also bringing our own style to it. So it's daunting. Well, it's daunting.
Dalton.
Don't. It's daunting, but it's exciting, right? And so I think when something is as daunting as a project like this is, it really pushes you to be the best version of, yourself that you can be, and challenges you. And like we were talking to some of the filmmakers like Jared Bush, who's obviously like worked on a million huge Disney projects. And it's like the mindset of like wanting to like um what's the word I'm looking for?
Mm.
Respect like the legacy that you're building
Mhm.
a place like Disney never goes away. So for like someone who's like Jared, who's, you know, Oscar winning and has touched so many things, including Moana 1, it's like that fear never goes away, which says a lot about the creative process, right?
Well, and speaking of the creative process, obviously many of the best Disney songs, came from songwriting duos, the Sherman Brothers, or Menken and Ashman. And how does working as a team with your very success? I mean, there's one of you has more of a pop music background, like the Sherman Brothers did, and one more on a performance and composing bit, more like Alan Menken. How does combining those add more than the sum of its parts by working together?
It's a magical alchemy that Emily and I have found together. I don't really know quite what's in the air when we create together, but we've developed such a rapport over the last couple of years, and it's just, I think it's kind of like a Venn diagram, like, where we are different in like stark contrasting ways, but then in the middle, everything that needs to align for us to have a good partnership is there. We're our tastes are similar, and we have similar pace when we write together. So it's flowed, and through this process, I think I've learned that like it's something we magically do together. It's like a superpower.
Yeah, I mean, I think how different we are and how we view music in totally different ways is why the partnership works, right? Because why would you want to be in the room with someone who thinks the exact same way that you do? Like I've been in the room with so many talented people, and I know Abigail has too, with like huge credits under their names and wildly talented people that you're like, oh my God, how are you even real? But like sometimes it just doesn't work creatively because there's so many little like connection points that have to overlap. But like she said, somehow it just clicks.
And to wrap up, I don't know if you're in attendance, but at the D23 event, a whole arena got to hear some of your work and with rapturous applause. Now that it's coming out and you can literally hear the fan reaction, how's that been? I know this has been a very long process, so it's going out into the world. You ready?
I hope so. I think we are. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I think we've done the best job we possibly could have, and made these songs the best they possibly can be. And I think it tells the story in a really wonderful, entertaining, exciting way. So I'm ready.
Yeah, the D23 thing especially was kind of insane because I mean, everything's been locked in a small room for like 2.5 years, right? So no one outside of that room has heard this music, and to see it kind of like fly off
And
and
have
take
its own life.
just even a little bit that was shared at D23 and like being in the room and seeing the reactions in live time and having everyone not be like boo was amazing. I mean, like, I don't know. It's true. It takes on a life of its own. It's ours right now, but it's not going to be ours for very much longer. It'll be everyone's soon, you know?
Well, congratulations. I'm really happy for you. The work we've heard has been fantastic, and I can't wait to hear more once the movie comes out.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the time.